Hey guys, welcome back to Lifeline Students Worship Keys. So this is lesson 2. So you made it past lesson 1, your first lesson. So this lesson is entitled White Keys versus Black Keys. So in the last lesson, you learned about all the white keys and the seven notes that make up each pattern that follows up and down the keyboard. In this lesson, we're going to talk a little bit more about the black keys, and we're going to review what we went over in the past lesson about naming each note up and down the keyboard in every octave. So we're going to review the challenge that we learned in lesson 1. The challenge was for you to be able to name all 7 notes in every octave and be able to go up and down the keyboard like so. So we're going to try to do this with the note D. So we're going to start at the very bottom that we can on the keyboard that you have at home. We're going to start on D, and then we're going to go up every octave the same note. So we start D, 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 D. So please make sure that when you do that challenge that you try it with every note, so that way you get very comfortable where the notes are on the keyboard and in every octave. So today what we're going to talk about is we're going to talk about the difference between a white key and a black key. So in a white key, we call these naturals. These are all, these are just the bottom line notes. So when you take a note, so as you have a vocabulary sheet, so go ahead and pull that out. On the vocabulary sheet for lesson 2, there should be sharp. So that's our first term. So sharp raises a pitch by 1/2 step. So we're going to give you an example, okay? So I'm going to start at C, and I'm going to raise this note, C, by 1/2 step, and make the note C sharp. Now the analogy that we give with that is when you think about, something that's sharp, it pierces, so it goes up, it pierces into something. So when you are at C natural, which is what this note is, which every note on the keyboard that's white key is going to be like C natural, D natural, E natural, F natural, G natural, A natural, B natural, C natural. So when we start at C and we raise it by 1/2 step, this becomes C sharp. Okay? Now, let's talk about the next term that's on your vocabulary sheet. The next term is a flat. So a flat lowers a pitch by 1/2 step. And when we say a 1/2 step, what we're meaning though is the note that's directly next to the note that's provided. So if we start on C, the note that's directly next to it lower is B natural, which is another term for C flat. So let's kind of talk about that. So if we start at C, and we go to C natural, that's what this note is, and then we go to C flat, which is the same as B natural, there's another term on your sheet called enharmonic tones. Now, look at the enharmonic tones vocabulary. So enharmonic tones are notes that are musically written differently, such as A flat and G sharp, but sound the same. So thinking of it as in English terms, I think of it as homophones. So if you think about C and you go to C flat, this note is the exact same as B natural, okay? So let's start at A. So here's A natural. So if we go to A flat, that's this note. We go down 1/2 step, or to the note that's directly below it. Now let's start at G natural, okay? Let's go up, let's raise it by a sharp 1/2 step. So 1/2 step above G is G sharp. So G sharp and A flat are the same notes. So we'd also like to start with scales. So let me kind of tell you what a scale is. So look at your vocabulary sheet one last time. A scale is a series of musical notes differing in pitch according to a specific scheme, usually within an octave. So we learned octaves last lesson, and we learned that from C to C, or from B to B, is an octave. And that goes with every note that's on the keyboard. So let's start with C. Now, you may have already heard this before, but a C scale includes every single white note. So, within an octave. So let's start at C down here. So a scale is a series of 8 pitches, actually 7 pitches, but includes the 8th one, that's the top. So let's do a scale. So here's the C major scale. generally, choirs warm up with this because it helps their vocal range, and us keys players warm up with this because it helps us practice across the keyboard. So this week, we're going to start our new challenge. So this challenge this week is begin trying to play a C scale comfortably 1 octave with only the right hand moving. Please be sure that you keep a steady tempo and smooth finger transitions. So let me teach you the finger transitions for the key of C. This is the scale that we're going to work on during our challenge this week. So we're going to start with the thumb. That goes on C natural. And then for D, we use our index finger. This is the 2, so we think of this as the 2 finger. And then the middle finger goes on E natural. Then we have a cross right here. So our thumb crosses underneath our middle finger and hits the F natural. And then our index finger once again hits the G natural. Our middle finger hits the A natural. Our ring finger hits the B natural. And then our pinky ends the scale with the C natural. So as a continued progression, if we start at the low C, we start with the thumb, and then we go to the index finger, we go to the middle finger, cross underneath with the thumb and hit the F natural. Then we hit G natural with the index finger, A with the middle finger, and then we hit the ring finger on B natural, and then we hit the pinky on C. So throughout the week, please try to practice the C scale 1 octave. If you can do it 2 octaves, that's perfect. But for right now, focus on making sure that you keep a steady tempo, and a tempo is just how fast you play it. So make sure if you want to do the scale really slow, make sure you do it at a tempo around the speed. Now try to come down as well. So coming down, you start on the pinky till you get to the thumb on F. And now on the thumb on F, you've run out of fingers. So take your middle finger and cross over to the E. And then your finger should follow appropriately. So try to play 1 single octave this week as your challenge in a single progression. Congratulations, you've just completed Lesson 2 in your journey to becoming a worship keyboard player. So like I said earlier, in harmonic tones are notes that are the exact same note, but are spelled pretty much differently. So here's C natural. We're going to go up every white key and every black key in a single octave, okay? So we're going to start at C natural. This is the only name for this note. Then we go to C sharp or D flat. It's the exact same note, but only named differently. This is C sharp and D flat, okay? Then we go to D natural. And then this is the only name for this note. Then we go to D sharp or E flat, which is this note. Then we go to E, which is the only name for this note. Go to F. The next note will be F sharp or G flat. Next note is G natural. The next note is G sharp or A flat. Next note is A. Next note is A sharp or B flat. Next note is B natural. And then we finish off with C natural. So each note, each of the black keys have enharmonic tones. So it's the exact same note, it's just named differently. So please practice just being able to name, this is C sharp and D flat, this is D sharp and E flat, this is F sharp and G flat, G sharp and A flat, A sharp and B flat. So practice that as part of your challenge this week as well.